Mayor, I guess it's the best time to start. Um, yeah. I thought about this very hard. I read a lot, talked to a lot of people, and spoke with residents. Several residents live on Tallman. Spoke to workers at Meadowwood, I think it's Meadowwood or something like that, off of 111th by the Vulcan quarries between Plainsville Naperville Road and Weber, which is still an active quarry, and they're building 180,000 homes that started at 180,000. My boss, supervisor, lives off of Boughton, where there's a quarry behind him, and he bought it. It's brand new construction. Nice home too, by the way. So, and then I spoke with my neighbors, my wife, my parents, and all that. And put a little something together here, a synopsis, if you will. And the cons to it, number one is the large hole in the ground being there when it's complete. Then later on, I was informed by Greg Anderson, water management is a possible option in the future. And he put a report together for us which indicates something like Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, something like 4.5 million possible revenues, long term now. That's dollars probably today, I would imagine. But water management and environmentalist and all that, I'm sure it could be possible. I can understand where Greg's coming from, and it's very possible. So close to the high school. I've heard that from residents too. I went to high school there. I personally don't recall any vibrations that slowed the school down. I think Valley View in their evaluation of blasting, nothing there stood out that the blasting did any damage. And then number three, the ground vibration. That'll be there. That's a con, one of the cons. The truck route of gravel will continue. And number five, I'm one of those believers that, because I personally spoke with Dick Dystrom from Lockport, and I strongly believe if we don't take this annexation agreement and this agreement total package, it's very possible that Lockport can take it, annex it, and the blasting will continue. Okay, give them the special use permit and continue. That's another con for the village of Roanoke. Some of the pros: having control of, very, very important as a citizen, very important. Restrictions on, very, very important. The ability to reprimand, very, very important. The blasting and mining operations is the utmost concern and importance. On one of my pros too, I wrote it up after Gary came up with a memo about a 4-step control plan, which it was a great idea. And Material Service and the village here, we expanded on it. And it was a great idea. And now it's part of the annexation agreement. The monies that will be coming to the village. Once it's signed, it's about $400,000 total. Okay. That, I spoke with people from the Unity Party yesterday, and as I mentioned to them, with this money coming in, as Fred was just bringing up here as well, the next challenge, if we take this, the next challenge will be, what do we do with these monies for the village? Street repair, sidewalk repair, pay down some debts, purchase some items, hire some people. We at least have those options now. Okay. for the village of Romeoville. Another pro, in my opinion, here is the village boundaries will extend to Route 7, finally stopping the threat of the village of Lockport encroaching. We acquire more land along Taylor, west of Weber, which in turn is very important to our future growth. And after all this work that we've put into this, I mean a lot of work. I personally put a lot of work into this. My wife can testify that. It'd be a shame to lose it. Be a shame to lose it. And I brought this up yesterday. I just want to restate it one more time. After watching the reruns from March 21st, Mr. Mays brought up comments such as, "We don't have a problem with this. That will add to we'll add this to the agreement. The wording could be better, and he will correct it or clear it up." Just want to ensure. Greg has stated to me yesterday at the meeting we had that he believes that was done. Well, I believe we need to amend it to ensure that gets done. Okay. I was informed of the airport expansion at Lewis University recently, which does affect the land use from our professionals that work for this village. An important question is, what is the best land use with the airstrip there? Who would build at a foot of an airstrip? I don't think I'd build a house there. I don't even know if I'd put a tool and die shop there. Okay. I spoke to a coworker who has a license to fly, and he described and illustrated with photos the larger jets that will be landing there. They're approximately 40 feet in length. I'd like to take this time to, let me go straight to, I want to bring up the questions. I'd like to take this time to thank Joe Mulrooney for his open door policy that he demonstrated with me. I've communicated to Joe the concerns that trustees and residents have. He allowed me the opportunity to meet with him on Friday afternoon and to phone him on Saturday and Sunday. The questions I asked Joe are these. Why are you pushing us / rushing us? His response. Jose, it's been close to 1 year since this project started. Due to the lack of response, we went to Lockport. Second question I asked him. People get the feeling of something sneaky as if the land is for sale, and if you don't get this annexation complete by 3/31, Material Service loses the sale. His response. Absolutely not. Yes, the land is for sale. This land has been public knowledge for months. Material Service mentioned this during their PZC meetings. Material Service will not be ready to sell to the end of May or June because of the paperwork required. As of today, there's no buyer. The annexation agreement is to the land. Third question. Do you have any problems with the Valley View School recommendations? No. He commented, I don't think a seismograph at RHS is a good idea, at least for the first 10 years. Probably best at Colonial Restaurant. Also, we discussed the entire program from the start till Sunday, March 26, 1995. Other topics included Lewis University, Gary Heinz's 4-step escalating fine program, College View Water, the airstrip, and best use of the land. And I would like to thank Mayor Golden, Frank Laurel, Greg Anderson, legal counsel, and those trustees that communicated with me regarding this massive agreement. And that's all I'd like to have. That's all I have to say right at this time. Though I have a little bit more at the end. Thank you.